And welcome everyone to the HQXtra ESeries presented by Command Digital Signage. We are at the inaugural event for the Bathurst round of the championship, brought to us by CR International, and also in conjunction with CR International, it is the final round of the Endurance Series, and we are following the CR International vehicle, normally driven by Trevor Penny. This particular event, Trevor's unable to race, but the car itself is actually driven this particular round. But as we head up to Mountain Straight, it is absolutely fantastic to be at Bathurst. It's a brilliant racetrack. This particular event ends up helping people in a slipstream both up and down the mountain. This particular part of the event is running up the hill, turning into turn 2, dipping into the corner here. Second gear, very, very high on the RPM, almost a third gear situation there, but normally nipping it back to second gear just to get an exit out of the corner there. As we start to rise the hill here up into BP corner, on the left hand side here, just dipping into the corner, and full noise all the way up the hill here, holding the revs high in the rev range, cresting the hill up into towards McMillan Park, nice and close towards the concrete walls. Hopefully end up getting a nice drive up the hill and cresting the hill here. On the left hand side, we go over the ripple strip out towards the grate on the side of the wall there. Again, full noise all the way around along the side of the concrete wall again. Start to crest the hill and start to climb back down the other side of the hill towards Skyline. So very easy to lock the rears coming into the corner and either heading towards the wall or inverting the car around, which we might even see some cars do in the race itself. Through the dipper, starting to come down to some of the most important parts of the circuit into Forest Elbow and exiting onto the straight. But as we are presently, we're just trying to keep the car nice and straight as we turn left and enter the Conrod Straight. Now down here we have a massive opportunity to be able to sort of slipstream and pass in racing circumstances. Looking at about 15 to potentially 20 kilometres an hour difference if you're following a car or 2 or 3 in front of you. But running down the straight here at the moment in qualifying, lap times are about a 3 minute, maybe 3 minute and a bit for some of the pole setters. So absolutely brilliant to be able to dip through here into full noise, slide the car through, hard on the brakes, very easy to outbrake yourself and run into the weeds at the end of the straight here. But in this particular time, being done very well. Heading towards the bridge as we enter the pit entry on the left hand side here, heading into the final corner, super critical as always, nice and straight with the car, left hand side wheels, very, very close to Ripple Strip, out on the right hand side exit, under the bridge, and that's our lap of Bathurst. Look forward to the rest of the racing.
And here we are with the qualifying results for the Bathurst finale. We've had Paul Watkins coming in first position timing wise, Jason Mole coming in third behind Michael Howlett, Leighton Cranbrook, Brad Lee, Chris Ainscoe, Chris Mole, Kenny Wright, Brett Osborne and Simon Thomas. So this is pre-top 10 shootout. We'll find out the results of that shortly, but heading off to 11th there, Dave.
Certainly are, mate. We've got Joel Heinrich. He's missed the top 10 shootout, so he'll be absolutely spinning chips. Andrew Toff there, Matthew Reid, Mark Watkins, Andrew Gallaty from Victoria. He's had a fairly average run. The Godfather himself, Joe Andreski, Harvey's towing. G'day, mate. Dave Lee, Bruce Heinrich, Rob McDougall, and then we've got Ricardo Bonello in 20th.
Yeah, look, it's great to see Ricardo up there, our regular photographer in New South Wales. So it's good to sort of see him there. But let's have a quick fleck through to the top 10 shootout results.
Okay, and it's time to have a look at the results after the top 10 shootout, which was absolutely incredible. We had about 6 cars there that were in a second of a lap in 10th position. Jason Mole, next to him, Chris Mole, both the 2 Command Digital cars there. On the 4th row, we had Brett Osborne in the Speed Cafe car. And then in 7th place, we had Simon Thomas. 6th place, in the 3rd row, we ended up with Ken Wright from the CR International cars. And Brad Lee ended up in 5th position there with the Sydney Motorsport Park Flaggers car. Chris Ainscoe ended up on the 2nd row. Next to him is Leighton Cranbrook. The front row ended up being Michael Howlett, being just pipped to the post by Paul Watkins.
with pole position there. So front row, Paul Watkins and Michael Howlett. Let's get on to the racing.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we've got Bathurst, the final round of the E-Series, and away they go. Howlett's got a fantastic start. Ainsworth, Dave Lee, Leighton Cranbrook's got a real good start also as they come down into turn one. This is going to be interesting. Will they all come through clearly? We've got a field of 24 HQ holders. C&R International, thank you very, very much. Command Digital, this is the Enduro. The winner here tonight will take the Golden Crown, you could say, Ian. And fantastic weather and a good crowd.
Yeah, look, absolutely. The weather is brilliant. It's not always been the case at Bathurst, but at this time of year, it's put on a good one. I do know that it snowed there in the last few days, so we've picked a good time to be there. But like you said, it's going to be tight up the front. We've got Howlett sort of pushing pretty hard at the front there, and Leighton Cranbrook. We've got 5 guys sort of tussling over the start there.
Oh, hang on a sec. Have a look at Howlett. He's gone on the marbles. He's gone out really, really wide. Oh, he's touched panels with Leighton Cranbrook. He's gone from first back to third up to second now. And have a look at that yellow and black, a Tiger car, you could say there. Sydney Motorsport car, mate. It's out the front and looking good, the 051 car.
Yeah, look, and full credit to him. That's actually a gentleman called Brad Lee. He's one of the flag marshals at Sydney Motorsport Park, and he's joined the series just to get his hands into motorsport, which is fantastic to see. And again, it's just one of the initiatives that we've sort of got with HQXtra and the E-Series to be able to get as many people as we can joining in. But he's taking a lead at the moment, and he's done a lot of laps around here in practice. He's very committed to try and put a good result, and to be out the front of Michael Howlett, who's our series leader at this stage, and in front of Leighton Cranbrook, Mark. Actually, no, it'd be, Walker Senior, I think, running the white car today, yeah. And then coming back we're filing through down the hill at the moment. We'll get the back of the field sort of later on anyway. But out the front, Bradley, Howlett, Cranbrook, fantastic. It's looking great to see all these cars running around Bathurst.
Certainly is. Watkins, Brett Osborne's having a good run. Simon Thomas, Kenny Wright. Down the hill, ladies and gentlemen, down Conrod Straight, you can say for the very first time. Bruce Heinrich wouldn't be used to being 2/3 of the way through the field. There's Hollywood, ladies and gentlemen. He's got 57.5 minutes to go. Let's see how Hollywood can go. Good to see him there. HQXtra car, E-Series Holden. Oh, a bit sideways there, the old Walker. Leighton Cranbrook, they're touching panels down into that sharp left-hander. Then we've got the right-hander. There's a bit of a thing for people. A Shell supercar hit that bridge, name that driver. And we've got Jason Mole. Jason Mole's having a real good run. Oh, Brett Osborne's doing okay. Joel Heinrich, he's back a little bit. C&R International, Kenny Wright is doing extremely well. But Simon Thomas, he's on the move. He's coming through the Rainbow Warrior car there, going extremely well. Leighton Cranbrook back to 4th. And just in front of him, we've got Lanskoff and Lee, and of course, the Lucky 7 car, the West Australian car there of Howlett, is back in the lead.
We've actually got Brett Osborne running this V Cafe livery at this particular event, and like you said before, we've got CR International sponsoring this particular event, but also on the back of that, we've got the CR International Endurance Series that we've been running over the last few rounds. This particular event's a 1-hour race, as you can tell by the counter. The other 2 Enduros have been 40 minutes, so why not step it up a little bit more important and a little bit longer race here for Bathurst. And we've extended that race to a full 1-hour distance here. So again, it's a different strategy. We've got pit stops involved, we've got tyre wear, we've got fuel conservation. So it'll be interesting to see everyone's sort of tactics towards this. But at the end of the day, we're still looking at an overall champion. So we'll be able to crown a triple crown almost, depending on sort of who does what. But we've got the potential of sort of having someone either win an individual round that might not have won one before, like Brett Lee out the front, or we might have someone like Michael Howlett or Leighton Cranbrook that's done pretty well across the board. But what I'm sort of seeing at the moment, it looks like some of the guys mid top 10 there may not have had as many laps around here as some others. We've got guys like Joel Heinrich that'd be up the front and fighting for wins in some of the other events, but he's sort of pushing towards the back of the top 10 there, mate.
Yeah, he certainly is. And once again, Howard's had issues and problems from turn 2 upwards through the mountain. And that's the reason why he's back into third position. So just keep an eye on him. But this fuel strategy is going to be very, very interesting. Okay, we've got pit stops and things like that. But with these HQ Holdens, who can make it last, who can be consistent, and most of all, who can use the fuel wisely? Because at the end of the day, whoever keeps the car straight, the Kenda tyre's good, and the fuel will be the winner. Joel Hondrick, Kenny Wright, Walker, Chris Mole, Andrew Toff doing extremely well from Tasmania. Reed, Ian McLean, yeah, a bit of a legend, a bit of a has-been from way back. So good to see there's a few different names in there and everyone having a go at you, just like I'm having a go at you.
Oh, look, why not? Look, and to be honest, talk about having a go. Someone that's missing out on having a go is Trevor Penny from CR International. That's been a great supporter of not only this series, but HQXtra. He's had an injury that stopped him from being able to compete, and he's been working pretty hard for many, many months to be able to race at Bathurst at least. But his injury means that he won't actually be able to sort of do the sim, so he's broken his foot pretty badly. So I've actually taken over the livery for this weekend, or this particular event. So I'll be running a sister car, a CR International car, to Kenny Wright there, and it's Trevor Penny's number and his opportunity to sort of get the two cars there. But he's definitely got a better co-driver, team driver with Kenny Wright, definitely in the top 10. I'm just enjoying myself towards the back there at the moment.
Yeah, you're rounding them up, mate, just like a sheepdog would. But quite interesting. We've got a Brad Lee and a David Lee, so that must be father and son. So that's good to see. We've got the two Heinrichs, father and son, or Joel's dad. As we go through up over the Petters there, geez, we've certainly got some pretty good. Just having a look at the Baxter's Orchard there. That looks like it's about ready to make some of their very good wine. John Baxter there. Pity he couldn't make it tonight. Maybe he's working, not 100% sure. But he has certainly done some laps around here, just like his close friend and matey Brett Osborne. So doing extremely well. Osborne's Transport, who has been a major sponsor of New South Wales racing for New South Wales for the last 7, if not 8 years now. So fantastic to see some names, some faces. And, mate, the footage around Bathurst here is very, very good. It's clear, it's clean. Command Digital, once again, magnificent job.
Absolutely. Look, Jason Mole and everyone involved with Command Digital. So the whole company sort of been behind this project, both in time and resources, to be able to make the whole thing happen. So we've got to put a personal shout out to Jason that's put the time and effort in to be able to sort of get the cars organised and involved in the series in itself. But yeah, to have the backing of Command Digital, it's been an amazing effort to be able to sort of put it together. But like you said, we didn't create the circuits, we don't create the atmosphere. They're all sort of already organised by the R Factor side of things. But some tracks like Bathurst have really been able to put on some amazing shows, and the digital contrast and the attitudes of the car looks absolutely fantastic. So what I'm seeing right now is somewhere that I wish that I was, and again, the intention with HQs is to be able to sort of bring us back as a category to Bathurst, to be able to run there and not just do it in a virtual sense, get back and go door to door like we should do. And it's pretty hard on the vehicles, and we might even see a few failures here, or some issues with some cars and durability or reliability. We're 50 odd minutes to go, so we've got a long race ahead of us, including that pit stop. So we'll see sort of how we go with pit stops and whatnot.
Well, HQX's actually coming in already to do one of his pit stops, the number 12 car you can see there coming into the pits. Have a look at this. This is absolutely fantastic. In through there, made it easy, no issues, no problems, as they keep on going around and around. 50 minutes to go here, so HQX's got to do his stop and see all the signs and everything out there. Simon Thomas from Victoria doing an absolutely fantastic job. He really is in that car, the 76 car. But have a look at Jason Mole and Chris Mole there with the Command Digital. And Joel Heinrich there. Well, he's getting a love tap from Kenny Wright, right behind him in Lucky 13. as they start coming up. And look at that down the back there. There's Hollywood. There's a man there that can normally can't put 2 laps together. He's going extremely well in the HQXtra car. But have a look. Howard is losing his grip on this race. You can see the 051 car there, the Sydney Motorsport car, has got at least a 2.5 second gap. Howard's gone from first back to second, almost third, back up to first, the second, and now third. So the 24 car there is doing an absolutely fantastic job there, Anscoff, as they come up and around and through. So Bathurst, the place to be, and being a Victorian, mate, it'd be good to do some racing interstate. It'd be good to do some racing, full stop, because, mate, they've totally shut us down here in Victoria.
Absolutely, and look, sadly, New South Wales is in the same boat temporarily anyway, so we're missing some rounds that we normally would have been having sort of coming up to Father's Day and some other events. But again, looking at this sort of side of things, we look forward to next year and the potential of being able to sort of race there, and hopefully the world's a different place, you could say, for racing in general, but overall our thoughts are obviously with people that are affected in many ways with the COVID situation. But yeah, to give us a little bit of an opportunity of being able to watch some racing again and seeing how it all goes is a brilliant opportunity, and again an opportunity that we've sort of been able to see. We're following the boot of Bradley, who's running down the back straight of Conrod here in our Sydney Motorsport Park vehicle, and he's doing an amazing job. I recounted, I think, somewhere around the vicinity of, I think, I might be wrong, about 1,000. I'd have to have a look, but there was about close to 1,000 laps that he's spent getting prepared for this particular event. So counting that in hours is a ridiculous amount of time that he's put into it. So congratulations for the commitment. He's done a huge job, and it's paying dividends at the moment and out in front of the normal races themselves.
It certainly is. Who says the flag and just turns up and doesn't know what to do? So he certainly put some effort and that into it. Right over there, Kenny Wright, got Joel Hondrick in front of him. Simon Thomas just gone, oh, here we go, the number 10 car. The HQXtra car there is coming into the pits to do his. All right, we're gone just over the 12 minutes or 3.5 laps here at Bathurst. A 1 hour race, a 1 hour enduro brought to you by CR International here at Bathurst. Also, our proud sponsors, Command Digital. And also, just trying to look for the Harvey's towing car. The Godfather, I think he's the only one from Queensland that's actually running here at the moment. He qualified okay. He qualified in the top 20. So, well, look at Kenny Wright here. He's actually pushing Joel Hondrick. Don't stay behind him. That engine normally leaks a lot of oil. The Hondrick's entrance, you can always tell which one Bruce puts together. They're fast and they leak oil. But let's wait and see. Up through turn 2. Kenny right there just backed off around about a car length. Coming up around. Look at Thomas. Well, a bit of smoke there. Bit of smoke coming out behind the Hondrick car there. I'm just trying to see. We've got Kenny right behind him. Who's the car behind Kenny? Oh, that's Jason Mole. Jason Mole, Command Digital car there, has got a little bit of smoke coming from the right-hand rear wheel arch. So just got to keep an eye on this. We've got Kenda tyres, Wade suspension, Petters suspension, Wade camshafts. And it's a package, mate, that's been going for just over 30 years. And HQ Holdens is an absolute pinnacle of racing. Brakes, suspension, tyres, everything is almost at 99.9% of racing all the time. And we're very, very lucky to race at all tracks throughout Australia. Tasmania has got a couple of ripper tracks. The oldest track, I understand, is at Baskerville there. So, and they also got Simmons Plains as well. So, yeah, can't wait to go racing full time next year. Let's hope it all happens and goes throughout Australia so we can all get in these cars. E-Series, will E-Series continue on next year? Is there a place for E-Series for the HQ Holdens?
Yeah, absolutely. Look, we haven't put any definitive plans in, but we had a little bit of a trick up our sleeve that we had been retaining until after this series has actually been completed. So this particular series is an overall sort of champion for the 9 rounds that we did have. But we've held one particular event in one particular state over that would have held the one-off nationals of this year. And any ideas what event we might have been overlooking at this stage, Dave?
Well, we could always say Charles and Ben would probably be a fairly good place there, brand new track. The brothers have absolutely done a magnificent job with that track there, mate. It is just world class, and let's hopefully we'll get some world class racing come over from overseas to it. So am I on the ball, mate? Am I on the card?
As much as we'd love to be running at the Bend, and again our intention sort of would have been as a series to run there, but we've actually kept one aside, which is Darwin. So our Hidden Valley event that would have been the HQ Nationals for 2020 was cancelled, obviously due to the COVID situation. So we're looking at running a one-off event for a E-National Champion that will be running a different scenario to what we have done normally, but we'll see sort of how that goes coming up. But next year, we just don't know. We'd love to involve everyone, and as soon as this series sort of finishes, I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people that want to get back and driving and even just the social side of things, to be able to spend the time with the different drivers from the different states. We've basically got every state covered. Our intention was actually to compete in every state that we could, and we have done that. We've actually been able to sort of do in one round in each state. So we've done a great job of being able to sort of share that around, and some of the states have actually had 2 rounds as well. So yeah, we've shared the love, and next year we might end up doing a different configuration with different tracks that we haven't even had the chance to run with. I know that Winton would be a great one, and there's some nostalgic ones that we haven't even been able to get onto yet. Amaroo Park, Oran Park, New South Wales wise, there's even Warwick Farm, I think, in there too, and a few others that aren't even around any longer. Adelaide Raceway is another one that's there too, along with Calder Raceway. So it's almost limitless where we go. We might find that we race at Spa. We might find that we race at Monaco. We just don't know.
All right, well, that's absolutely fantastic, and that's good to see. So, Northern Territory, interesting. I saw the boys with their toys up there on the weekend. So, yeah, well, I just have to wait and see. But here we are at Bathurst in New South Wales, the E-Series there. C&R International, this is the Enduro, the third of the Enduros, you could say. And Howard has always been up near the front. So, Jason Mole, and also his brother there, look at that. Chris Mole, sort of 5th and 6th there at the moment. In front of them, we've got Kenny Wright, and in front of them, we've got Joel Heinrich. Simon Thomas, like I said, mate, he must be a whiz on this machine. He really must, because he's done extremely well also. But I'm just trying to, have a look at that, mate. That is certainly that's a humdinger. Oh yeah, King G. There'll be certainly some stripes in his King G's, I reckon, after hit that wall, mate, and into the sand trap. So, geez, it looks like he'll be okay. There's another fence just popped up there. I didn't see that fence before. There's a couple of interesting places where some fences are. Joel Heinrich, we've got Chris Mole, we've got Kenny Wright and Jason Mole all coming into their pits to do their pit stop. Two pit stops are in, or just one? Let us know, mate.
Yeah, look, the options are for either, to be honest. The potential is that you can run on one stop, but you do have a fuel load that you preset before the grid actually commences. So you get to choose how many litres of fuel that you put in, and to a certain aspect, that'll actually define as to how long that you do actually stay in the pit. So if you put half a tank in, sort of thing, it might mean that you've got to stop around that half race distance. If you stop any earlier than that, you may well run out of fuel. If you stop later than that, you're going to weight the car up excessively, so it'll actually affect your performance as well. So there's some strategy that you just don't know until you're actually in the midst of it. So some of the guys might sort of think in advance, they're going to run 3/4 of the race, they're going to have soggy tyres, it's going to be pretty ordinary coming up to that sort of pit stop, but then they might come home strong. Alternatively, and some of the guys have already done it, they might pit early. We've got 20 minutes down the track sort of thing, but they've got 40 minutes to go. So we don't know what their tyres are going to be like when they get towards the end of it. You might find the potential is that there's some incidents and some of the guys might actually have to pit twice. And you can do for damage. There's certain damage that they'll actually end up being able to repair when they go into the pit. So certain minimal sorts of damage from accidents or rubs can actually be corrected. Some can't though.
Yeah, okay. Well, Bathurst, Conrod Straight, it definitely puts a bit of stress level sort of on the engines as well. So we just have to sort of wait and see. Watkins there, that's good to see. P. Watkins doing extremely well in the 24 car. Bruce Heinrich in the super cheap colours, the 31. And we've also got Howard in the picture at the moment. Geez, I tell you what, Watkins is certainly giving it an absolute flogging at the moment. The 24 HQs, they start coming down. Conrod, you can see there.
And I'm not sure if you've noticed there, but they've actually caught up with Bruce Heinrich already. So he's actually a lap down. So the two leaders actually caught up to the back of Bruce. He's obviously had an incident somewhere in those first few laps. He's had a pit stop and probably lost about half a lap plus whatever he was involved with to begin with. So they've actually caught, the leaders have actually caught the back end of the field, and they're already going a lap down at the moment.
Yeah, okay. Well, Bruce is getting old, mate. Maybe he's starting to struggle. Looks like he's going... No, he's decided not to go in for another cup of coffee. He's staying out. So Howard is in. Howard is in. So the pit stop and the fuel strategy and all the rest, it's just so critical to what literage you would normally use for HQ Holden. 1.5, 1.6 litres a lap. Having a look at their qualifying times and everything like that. Very, very close, once again, to what the HQs actually do physically around Bathurst. We had a couple of cars in the 159s and most were in the, 259s. Most of them were in the 301s, 303, 304s, sort of rounded out the top 6 or 7. And the times are almost spot on, and they're very, very close.
Absolutely. Look, qualifying with the top 10 shootouts and things like that, they were anywhere from a 3-minute dead for a one-off top 10 sort of shot at qualifying. So again, it's very much legit on that sort of side of things without any drafts. But I can tell you that being able to follow a car both up the hill and down the hill can create a huge amount of slipstreaming. So there's probably the potential of almost 20 kilometres an hour of speed difference between being on your own and potentially being in the drag of 1 or 2 or more cars. So there's been some incredible speeds. I think off the top of my head, it might have been 211 kilometres per hour that was actually recorded in one of the packs. So someone may well been 3-4 car lengths behind a 1 or 2 cars in a particular drag situation, and they've ended up being able to go that far through, potentially 10 kilometres an hour faster than anyone down that straight there. So yeah, pretty huge, big drafts. It's another part of the game.
Yeah, okay. Well, that's quite interesting. And let's face it, two cars are quicker than one. Always has been, always will be. And we've got Simon Thomas there. He's doing extremely well. Brucey Heinrich, as a Bathurst, he doesn't want to remember at the moment. He is certainly slow, the 31 car, the super cheap car. So hopefully he's out there. He's still having a go. He's still punching on. So we can talk about him for the next 36 minutes. But yeah, Joel Heinrich, he's doing average. He normally likes to be right up the front as well. But Brett Osborne in the Speed Cap A car. Haven't seen him for a while now, so just trying to look. We've got around about 33 and a half minutes to go for this 1 hour Enduro, brought to you by CNR International and also Command Digital. Thank you very, very much. Oh, Thomas has gone wide and then come right back on, which is allowed Bruce Heinrich to catch right up behind him. Here you go, Bruce. Might be a chance to pass the car at Bathurst. Thomas, really, really good. 80, that's the Smith car. That's Simon Smith. So he's still there doing A-OK. And, We've had a spinner. The number 12 car there has actually started coming down the mountain there. That was close to where Chaz Mostert, I reckon, crashed his the Falcon on the warm-up lap before Bathurst had even started. So he's definitely done some damage on the left rear and left front of that car. But as we can see now, our race leader is still the 051 car, but Jason Mole's right behind him now. And also we've got the number 10 car. I'm just trying to work out who number 10 is. I thought it was Hollywood, but it's not Hollywood. He can't be up there. Who's the number 10 car, I reckon?
I'd have to have a look at it again to be able to see, but I can tell, again, that slipstream sort of running down that back straight there, the main straight there, it's ended up sort of getting pretty hairy there.
Oh, yes, mate. It's Walker. Of course it'd be Walker. Walker, the Western Australian, he loves the sand. And at Bathurst, he's got his way through. Another tyre wall, mate. That's a bit interesting where that one is. So as they come down, now we've got Jason Mole or Chris Mole. One of the Command Digital cars have got in front of the 051 car. The 051 car is Brad Lee. Watkins there, Brad Lee, there he is there. Up over the top, past where Greg Murphy hit the sand trap. And remember his first words were, Mickey Mouse, seatbelts were a little bit tight. Many, many years ago, we was driving for Holden. Geez, I can tell you some stories about Bathurst, mate.
Dave, did you just say...
Come down the hill.
Did you just say Mickey Mouse and did you say Mini years ago?
Yeah, almost. Yes, he was certainly sort of tangled, you could say, in his seatbelts. Or they were tangled in his seatbelts. It's got Simon Thomas, a 76 car. The 99 car, of course it is. That's Healy. That's Healy, Hollywood Healy. He's driven it straight into the wall. He's almost knocked the tent pegs out of the tent on top of the hill. He was hit the wall that hard. But he'll get going again, but he's certainly slowed himself up. Andrew Top, the Tasmanian, doing A-OK. He's in the top 10. Howlett doing extremely well at the moment. Got to keep an eye on him. He's back in 6th position at the moment. The 7 car, the Western Australian car, that greeny yellow army colour car, you could say it. Khaki, what flavour or colour do you call that 7?
Yeah, I don't know if there's something called poo green, but it's as close as you'll sort of get to it. But look, Mike's been an amazing competitor all the way through the events there, and he's done a lot of effort in being able to get a lot more guys from Western Australia. So he's dragged a lot of them through and helped them sort of get involved in the E-Series. And I was having a chat to him recently, and he has actually mentioned that the next time round, I'm pretty sure that he felt that they get another few competitors from Western Australia. The availability of simulators and steering wheels and pedals and things like that at the moment has actually been fine pickings. So there's a lot of people that would have loved to have been involved, and the potential is that we'll get even more for a second series if that ends up sort of going through that way. But no, we're excited. So Tothy's heading into the pits at the moment. We've got Leighton having a computer glitch from what I can tell there at the moment. But Thomas is doing a great race. We've got Bradley sort of running well. And like you said, Mike Howlett sort of running on his own at the moment in 6th, and that could well be an advantage for him because he's not going to get held up by too many people, and hopefully the guys at the front can cut their way through. Bradley still sort of pushing very hard, and as is Michael at the moment. So it'll be interesting to see how their times compare and when they pit and how their tyres are going, and whether Michael's going to be a bit too hard on his tyres, knowing that he's still got a long way to go. And with Brad out the front, he's obviously still doing good times on no pit stops at this stage, and he's halfway through the race almost, and he hasn't put a foot wrong. The car looks immaculate, which is the best way to be running around Bathurst, because any damage will actually slow the car down, and Hollywood's probably a prime example of that. I'm pretty sure that car's not going to be handling as well as it came out of the workshop anyway.
Yeah, well, that's for sure, mate. Like I said, they're still looking for the tent pegs actually hit the wall that hard. So that'll be very, very interesting. But just having a look, when the HQs come into the pits, ladies and gentlemen, just keep an eye on them. They're actually got, there's Hollywood once again. He loves his 4X. He's certainly nailed that sign. But when the HQs come into the pits and they stop, they're actually on air jacks. You actually see the cars lift up. So have a look and see if I'm dreaming or whether I'm telling the truth, ladies and gentlemen. But this is absolutely brilliant. It's really good to see. All right, we've got 30 minutes of this Enduro to go. It's a 1 hour Enduro, so we must be halfway through it. But Hollywood in the HQXtra, the 99 car, mate. That thing has had more hits than Elvis in this E-Series. I tell you what, he has certainly given that thing an absolute pounding.
There's a bit of a grudge match.
Average.
Yeah, a bit of a grudge match looks like it's going on here, and there could be some payback sort of happening. Hollywood's slowing everyone down presently and dragging a few of us sort of along there, and I may have had some assistance and ending up...
Someone just spun there. Someone just spun totally around. So, and backed into the wall there. That's a C&R. Could that be you, Ian? Could that be you stuck in the wall?
It's not stuck, but there's a 50% chance, seeing there's two of the CR International cars out there. We might have to see a replay at that, and we'll find out exactly.
Yeah, it certainly is, mate. You'll do anything to get yourself on TV for a bit longer. They come up over the hill there. They actually lift the front wheels off the HQ Holdens. 3 speeds, ladies and gentlemen. We all know that. We all race them. First, second and third, and R is for reverse only. So Brett Osborne in the Speed Cafe going fairly good, actually. He's certainly got that thing singing, you could say. Coming down the mountain, all looking good there. Well, Walker, Lee, Kenny Wright, all right, they're all in the top 10. So they're doing A-OK. And once again, Brad Lee, he has got that thing humming. Now, Howlett is doing some quick times down the mountain, but so is Lee. I reckon Lee and Howlett are probably the quickest cars down the mountain there at the moment. So let's see what happens with 28 and a half minutes to go.
We've got Dave Lee was in the middle of that battle between Mark Watkins there and Kenny Wright, and they're sort of battling pretty hard, and I'm assuming this is a position at the moment. They've both had a pit stop, I think. I know that Mark has done. I didn't see Kenny in the pits just yet, but there's a good chance that both of them have pitted and they're back on, potentially with some fresher rubber, but they're not really leaving anything on the table here, and there's been a lot of rubs and pushes through the entire field. Chris Moore, you got a few of the guys sort of starting to push up the straight there at the moment. You've got Joel Heinrich, Simon Thomas, Chris Ainsko that had that half a lose down the dipper, cresting the top of the hill there over Skyline one of the laps earlier, so not sure how straight his car is at the moment, but we're probably looking about the mid top 10 here at the moment, depending on, again, whether these guys are pitted or not, but competitive nonetheless, and they're giving it a fair shot. And Joel's running the Osborne Transport signage down the side and the CR International on the bonnet there too. So he's well supported and again by some fantastic companies and personalities that are in the sport, and it wouldn't be the same without it. The poor 3-speed gearboxes in these 202 configurations get a very hard time. You'd know, Dave, climbing the hill there, they're running at a lot of RPM for a long period of time that does them no good at all, and even sort of down the back of the straight. You wish you had a 4th gear by the amount of speed that you come onto the straight with. You're very quickly into top gear and wishing you had another gear on the top.
You certainly are. So here we go. We've got father and son and father about ready to come out side by side. They've got to bang into each other. This will be very, very close. We've got Bradley in front of Dave by the looks of it. Yes, we have. So that's in front of that. Paul Watkins behind him as they go up the mountain, up to do another lap. So this is going to be really, really tight and interesting because all these cars are starting to have done their first or their second stop in sort of the next 10 minutes. So this should bring the whole field back together, and we could be in for a real exciting finish and a very close finish like Bathurst normally has, unless you're Peter Brock and you lap the whole field. But, g'day Pete, how are you, mate? So as we've got Howlett there over the start-finish line, up the front chute, you can see beautiful camera, beautiful angles you can see. Well, the 24 car there, Act of Anscoff, certainly got a little bit sideways. So, but up over the top, we've got Brad Lee and Dave Lee. They're doing extremely. Father sons are going spot on. ARDC down the sides of the car, yellow on black. That'll make a few people happy, Mick Magilton. So just to wait and see. But as they go up and around GG Radial sign, there's some good signage around them. I didn't realise there was so much power, pedigree, meat signage around Bathurst.
Yeah, it's a bit of a retro, probably late 2010-ish sort of era. We've got a few of the sponsors there that are continuing, some of them that aren't, but it's great to sort of see it. But it looks like we've got two guys out the front that haven't pitted yet, and that's Bradley and Ainscough. Actually, no, sorry, it's Walker Senior that haven't pitted yet because the amount of time that they're sort of maybe dissipating, they might be holding their times or not, but we do know that Michael Howlett is still running around the top of the mountain while these guys are coming down the other side. So we've definitely got some equalisation to come soon when they're pitting, and they've obviously taken a bit of a choice that they're going to run longer with a shorter fill, shorter pit stop to try and sort of get them to the end, maybe with a wet sail and to be able to sort of push them through. But the vision, the footage, the way that these cars are being able to sort of get shown around the Bathurst circuit, absolutely brilliant. Running through the dipper, picking up wheels, running along the side with the concrete barriers, absolutely incredible. I goosebumps doing it, and I wish that I could be up there and actually racing in a proper sense instead of just a virtual sense, and we're all looking forward to that for sure. But yeah, soon, I hope soon.
Mate, we're going to wait and see. So, but the wheel work on that car where you were talking there was absolutely unbelievable. You can see the wheel just squirming, moving, left to right as the driver is catching it as it comes through the corners and starts to go down the dipper. But Thomas Heinrich, look at Thomas. Thomas is catching Heinrich. He physically is. You can see him there. He's only about 2 car lengths behind. So this will be interesting. Who's got the horsepower? Who's got the better brakes going down into Caltex Chase? Or was it Caltex Chase back then? I think it was. So it's been there for a while. Look at Thomas. He's catching. You can physically look at the draft on this car. On the Rainbow Warrior car, he's out of the side. He's popped the mono over the hill, and he's gone straight past Heinrich there. Some mumbo, mate. Some absolute mumbo drafting. You can physically see that. And Thomas has pulled out, gone past, come back in. I'm sure Joel won't be smiling behind that helmet at the moment.
And I'm sure
the number 1 car is slow.
Yeah, no, look, I'm sure Joel won't be smiling having had that sort of happen, but you can see the amount of slipstreaming and the draft that actually ends up being involved in that. So Chris Ainsco's had a half a lose, sort of coming on to the front straight there, the start-finish line, but that slipstream's incredible. But you know what? There's a good chance that if we get to see sort of Joel Heinrich running up Mountain Straight, you might find that those roles are reversed, and even up just the hill itself gives an opportunity to be able to slipstream and maybe even pass some of the guys in front too. But like you said, we've got 20 minutes to go. It'll be interesting to see how this race closes out. We've got a few different strategies happening here, and a few guys sort of running in the top 10 that are pretty much been there all of the way along through the series. We've got Tothy that's having a great run. He sort of started very late. He probably missed the first few rounds, having not had a simulator. And Brett Osborne's probably been the standout from an absolute beginner on a technical sense. And even Leighton Cranbrook's been in the same situation. Definitely not a friend with computers and challenges to turn them on in most cases. But once he's turned on and his wife's got it all set up for him, he can steer it like a race car driver can do, and he ends up running very, very well. So it's a good mix of skills and even capabilities of wheels and sim kits and expenses that go into them. Some of the guys are sort of running some pretty basic systems that you can pick up for $300-400 sort of thing. And there's some others that are well into the thousands of dollars. But most of the guys are on the budget level. We are HQ racers, and we do it for the love of it without the budget. But there's been a couple of guys, and Brad Lee was sort of one of them that upgraded his equipment to be able to run. And this particular event, he reckons he's gained some speed by upgrading some of his hardware. So it is interesting to see, no different to real racing, that some of the guys sort of get some advantages out of some varying equipment. But this tussle's great. We're sort of seeing the Sierra International car there, sort of sandwiched between one of the Command Digital cars and following one of the Western Australians in Walker there. So brilliant racing, brilliant running. Again, running down the hill, absolutely fantastic. Looks great.
It certainly does. So we're right. It was like Kenny Wright. Oh, he got very close to the wall there, then through the dipper, and then they come out the other side, and then you can see that's the Command Digital car there of Jason Mole as Kenny Wright, and of course in front of Kenny Wright we have got, I'm just trying to remember, trying to think who's in front of Kenny Wright. Oh, Kenny Wright, now here he comes, he's got the draft. Oh, that's Watkins. Walker, you might as well say there. Walker Watkins from Western Australia, the number 10 car. Kenny Wright, no, he pulled out too early. Kenny, you got to hang in there a bit longer, mate. So, but Watkins was able to stay in front of Kenny Wright. Now we've got Jason Mole right behind him. Command Digital car, 20 minutes to go. So we're looking at around about the 6 laps, ladies and gentlemen, 3 minutes a lap, 6.3s or 18, so that's pretty well close. Big pond there on the fence. Yeah, I'd say it'd be about 2010, 2012, mate. As I go under the start-finish line to finish a lap and start the next. Super Cheap Autos over the bridge there. Bob Joan T-Marts were there for a couple of years as well, there a fair few years ago. And also Hardy Ferroto. Remember, way back when she first started, mate, Hardy Ferroto was on top of that bridge for many, many years. So
yeah, they were counting in miles back then too, mate. That was around your area, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah, thanks, mate. Just because I seem to be older than most of the other people. I don't know why. I've seen some of their licenses. I'm sure Andrew Williams and Kevin Stoopman are definitely incorrect and not right because, mate, they're a hell of a lot older than me. Looks tell you that. All right, the 051 car coming through the chase there. He's doing very well. That's a Brad Lee or David Lee. Just have to get a bit closer. Was it 051? David Lee. So he's doing all right. Mark Anscoff, he's had a few issues, a few dramas. A bit of a couple of losers, but he's still out there. He's still going. Oh, look at that, mate. The apartments are there. Good to see. Good to see. The motels, ridges. So someone's coming into the pits right at the moment, slowing right down. Didn't do the Larry Perkins, just go straight through the tyre wall. He's pulled up quite nicely. You'll have a look at this car when it pulls into the pits. Do you see the airbags underneath it, the air jacks, and actually lifts up off the ground?
And you are spot on there. There are actually, air jacks in them. Let's just say they're a compulsory part of the E-Series. For safety reasons, COVID safe. We're not using excessive amount of air jack spikes and people. But no, you're right. That's a part of the system itself. But it looks like that might be Watkins. That's actually, Paul Watkins in the pits there. So Michael Howlett's looking like he'll be gaining ground. And it'll be interesting to see how that whole pit scenario ends up sort of coming out once they've ended up pitting. There's a couple of guys that are in the top 10 that are still yet to pit. Thomas Mole actually ends up sort of being one of the guys in front of the race leader there, but we've got 16 minutes to go, and I think a lot of the top guys will be starting to get close to doing their pit stops and running to the flag at this point anyway. I know we've had some pretty tight races in the past in Bathurst with Whincup involved in a few of them, and Mostert sort of coming through for a win at the last gasp there. But fuel's always a big part of the strategy, and not only just running fast, but even just going round and round at the right speed at the right time. So some of the cars, I think the Brad Jones racing cars have always been great with strategies sort of running there, and back in the Stones Brothers days, they were absolutely fantastic on fuel economy. So it's all a part of the mystique and the brilliance of what Bathurst is, and I don't think a HQ's going to be any different to that. But we've got Brad Lee running out the front at the moment. He's doing a great job. He really is, and to be able to be taking the pressure from national champions and state champions alike, and not having competed in an actual sort of real circumstance, being able to sort of do the laps that he's doing consistently, takes a bit of effort. So he's done a remarkable job, and it's great to sort of see him. And again, just reward some of the guys that are at the track, officials, stewards, flag marshals, helpers, mechanics. There's a lot of people out there that love motor racing as much as we do, but may not sort of get the chance to race like we've been able to. So great to see, and again, we wish everyone well in this present time of the world's environment.
Yes, it certainly is, mate. So, here we go. The 051 car's coming in. So this will be very interesting to see where Howlett and him come back out on the track, who's in front of who, with only around about 3, maybe 4 laps left, mate. So this will be very, very tight. This will be touching and go. Oh, there's Heinrich trying to come out. Yes, Heinrich's come out. So, and now Lee has gone in, up on the jacks, as you can see, with 14 and a half minutes to go. He's got his pit stop. Here comes Howard. Howard, the West Australian, the number 7 car. He's going down Conrod. So, mate, there won't be much in it. Who's got the fuel? Who's got the best strategy? Who is doing what to their cars to make sure they get through this 1 hour enduro? Brought to you by CR International. Like you say, Penny, better luck next time, mate. You know, we always say break a leg, not break a foot, mate. So get yourself up and going again, and get yourself out there, because we really appreciate you in the E-Series, what you've done, and who you've helped, mate, because it's been absolutely fantastic. Right, now we've got Howard go over the start and finish line. Can we have a look inside? Can we see? Oh, here we go. There it is. There's the 051 car. Now they're side by side. Howard has got to be in front of him. Howard's got to be in front of him. Just trying to see what's happening, what's going on. Coming out of, oh, yeah, there is. That's a good 15-second gap, I would say, ladies and gentlemen. 10, 15-second gap between Lee and Howard. Now there goes Watkins. Bruce Heinrich, he is getting absolutely heaps of TV coverage, ladies and gentlemen, but he's also down heaps of laps at the moment. So here we go. Well, what are they doing looking at me? That's it, up the hill, guys, as quickly as you can. Well, that's Ascoff there. And also Lee, Sydney Motorsport car, ARDC, as they come up over the hump. There's Howard. Geez, Howard's got a bit of a gap, mate.
You've mentioned Brucey Heinrich there. So, yeah, we've ended up with the Super Cheap Auto round, and he's also running the Super Cheap Auto signage and livery on his vehicle. But you're right, looks like Howlett's got a good at least 10-second sort of gap there over second and third place there. And it's actually Watkins Senior running Chris Ainscoe's livery. So we keep getting that mixed up every now and again. But it is actually Watkins Senior. So he's over in the UK racing in this virtual situation at the moment. And we've ended up sort of with Brad Lee running in second place, but we'll see how they all come out of it. But
three wide, mate. I mean, wait, this 3 wide going through turn 2. They won't be 3 wide when they come out, I can tell you for that, Ian. And look at that, they're not. So I'm back into single file again. Sorry, Ian, I wanted to cut you off just to show everyone that who is running this event. And up through the cutting, past Tyre Power Corner. Now they're all starting to bunch up. That's Kenny Wright doing a fantastic job. Command Digital, Jason Mole right behind him. And that could be you a few laps down, mate. You actually are on TV again. So there you go, mate. Have a smile. Have a wave.
And it's going round and round. So let's take that for what it is. But at that point in time, I'm following Jason Mole, And
Jason, yep.
Yeah, and the other CR National car with Kenny Wright there. But look, to be fair, my car wasn't as straight as what it started the race. I think we got tangled up with Wayne Healy and Brucey Heinrich there. So we aren't pitching it straight. The toe isn't quite what it was either. But nonetheless, again, it's great to sort of see. But these guys are sort of fighting for it. And I think that every single one of these is for position. So they're probably looking at the mid sort of 5th through to maybe 8th at the moment, position-wise. So with 10 minutes to go, which is, like you said, mathematically about 3 laps at this sort of point in time, I don't think that they'll be leaving anything on the table, knowing that it's Bathurst, knowing it's the last round of the CR International Endurance Series, as well as the overall HQXtra ESeries presented by Command Digital Signage. But Bathurst is Bathurst. Sometimes that makes more importance. Larry Perkins had always sort of put that spin on things, that he's more inclined to want to win Bathurst than he did a series. So we'll find out how these guys sort of go to the end, and maybe the championship doesn't matter for some of these guys and they'd like a little bit of limelight.
They certainly are. I'm pretty sure we've got Walker Senior and Watkins there in the grey car, the 10 car and the 12 car there. So they're having a father-son ding-dong, which is absolutely really good to see. So as I go over the start-finish line, ladies and gentlemen, now have a look at this. I'm just starting to have a look at a few lap times. Howard isn't going as fast as what he should do. Is there something wrong with his car, mate, or has he got a bit of a gap? He's trying to look after the tyres and the condition of what's happening and what's going on with his car. Just keep an eye on the times, Ian, because these two guys are going hell for leather to try and catch him, and they are catching him. So what's going on with the Howlett car?
Yeah, look, it could be a whole myriad of ideas there, and the potential could be as simple as he thinks he's home and hosed and he doesn't need to run as hard and risk it as hard. He could have been caught in traffic. He could have had a bad lap in that sort of an instance as well. But you're right, these two guys are sort of pushing pretty hard there at the moment. But again, we don't know the strategies on how long the fuel fills are. We don't know how the tyre degradation side of things are. These guys have pitted a lot later. It was in the first 20 minutes that Howlett actually pitted too. So he's almost running on sort of 30-minute odd plus tyre status at the moment, and I'm sure it wouldn't be doing him much good at all. But Brad Lee was pretty good out the front for a long time when he had his tyre sort of stint lasting as long as it did. But I don't know at this stage. I do know there has been a couple of cars that blew up out on the track there because they were sort of a bit hard on the equipment, as well as sort of damaged cars too. So it could just be a strategy that he's playing it safe, running round and round, knows that he's going to get the job done, can see in the rearview mirror that there's two guys that are battling out between second and third place, and doesn't really need to worry about them. But 8 minutes to go, we'll find out. But these guys will be able to slipstream and potentially even make up some time that Michael on his own won't be able to do.
Yeah, and that is for sure. But these guys have got to work together, not against each other. And that's what they've got to do. Now, I reckon that's a Howlett car that we just physically saw there. That's no longer 12, 15 seconds in front, mate. It's lucky to be 6, 7 seconds in front. So they've halved his time. Here they come, second and third, are absolutely ringing. The 6-cylinder Holden, 3-speed HQ. Yeah, they are, mate. They're catching. You can physically see that. They're catching. They'll be able to see him on the front straight. Have a look. You can see it as they come up over the hill. They'll be able to see him about now. We all know there's a fairly big hump there for the start-finish line and up over it into turn one. So these guys just need to work together. We've only got 3 laps to go, maximum 3 laps. So they're taking about 3 minutes. So, they are catching him, mate. Hook, line and sinker. They are catching the Howlett car. So Howlett is first. We've got Lee second. And we've got the 24 car, Anscoff there in third position.
Yeah, look, we've actually, it's Ainscott's car. Again, that gets confusing, but it is actually Walker Senior that's driving it. But you're right. They can actually see that Michael Howlett's in front of them, and it could almost spirit them on that they're not maybe racing for second and third. There's a chance if they can sort of get a good run at it, they might actually be running for a win. So whatever it is that's slowing Howlett down, whether it's fuel or tyres, he could have an issue with the car. But he's really sort of pushing it as far as it can go, but they're catching him. Like you said, they've probably taken 2/3 of that gap out by now, and we'll see how that sort of goes. But if they keep fighting, they might not even make their way up to him as well. But we've got a few of the guys sort of starting to get into a pretty close battle, and it's evening out here at the moment with the amount of pit stops, tyre changes, fuel, everything sort of starting to come together, and the perfect storm ends up sort of somewhere in the middle of this top 10 sort of thing. So there's cars everywhere. There hasn't been a stoppage, but after an hour of racing, or 55 minutes at this stage, they're nose to tail all the way sort of through about 6 or 7 positions there. So great to see. And again, we've got Command Digital Signage car sort of coming up against the HQXtra car. We'll see how easy it is to sort of pass him or where that position ends up sort of being there. But at this point in time, cresting the hill, flash of the lights there. Wayne Hollywood Healy gets out of the way to make sure that there's no hindering the Command Digital Signage car there, and running around the rest of the mountain.
Yep, they certainly are. There's Bruce Heinrich there again. This 31 Super Sheet car, mate. He is getting some TV camera. Let's call him Hollywood Heinrich soon. But look at Anscoff. We've got Mole there. We've got Andrew Toff. What's happened to Andrew Toff, mate? I just haven't seen Toffee. He was in around about 8th to 10th there for a while, but I haven't seen Toffee, so I've got to keep an eye on him. But we've only got another lap after this, ladies and gentlemen. As you can see, there's the time. The time is critical. It's a 1 hour race. It's an hour plus a 15th, you could say. Kenny Wright, Jason Mole, Chris Mole going down Conrod. And Kenny Wright, the CR International car, doing extremely well. He's had the tail of that car rubbing as it's come out before going down the front straight. So out of the cutting there also. Well, we've got Bruce Heinrich. He's cutting the grass and the sand. That's quite interesting. Everything's okay. He's still got it going. Jason Mole takes the correct line on the blue stuff. Now, Jason Mole has gone past his brother, gone past Bruce, underneath the, what they call the probably Dunlop Bridge, not Armor Bridge, sorry. There's Thomas there. Thomas doing extremely well. Thomas in the top 6. But here's Howard. Where are the other 2 guys? Oh, geez, are they a little bit closer this time or not? I reckon it's sort of, the gap is sort of, bit of smoke, bit of diff oil, gearbox oil coming out of the back of the Howard car, Network Courier's car there.
I think you're right there. Visually, it looks like they've almost sort of kept that gap in that last lap. So whether in the rearview mirrors there, Michael's sort of taken a bit of a view and sort of seen that he might have to keep going there. With 3 minutes to go, we know that it's only going to be a lap and a bit. So in essence, they've probably got to start the start-finish line twice yet. So there's a big coast. Big coast.
It certainly is. It certainly is, mate. Bianchi model cars, yes. We certainly remember the Bianchi sponsoring the V8 supercars and Bathurst there for many, many years. Got Bianchi cars with TCM cars as well. Getting thirsty, mate. Getting thirsty.
What I could hear there with running over the top of the hill there, it sounded like Michael was actually coasting over Skyline and down the hill there, which might indicate that there's a fuel conservation sort of happening there. He's potentially doing a wing up. He's run it dry or he's run it low, and he's taking it easy. And again, these 2 guys, if they can sort of work together, they may well end up sort of catching him. But at the same point, the red mist is down, and I don't think they want to yield anything to anyone and potentially give away a good result for them. But nonetheless, the racing's absolutely fantastic. These 2 guys are hammer and tongs. We've got the headlights on from Dave Lee, trying to maybe balk or put a little bit of pressure on Walker Senior there, and we'll see what ends up coming of it. But coming on to start-finish line after this next lap, we might only have 1 to go.
Yeah, definitely only got 1 to go. I need to get these 2 guys and bang their heads together, because all they've done is fight in the last 3.5 laps, and they're just not catching. Look, you can see the gap. The gap's still the same. They're not catching it. They're blocking each other. They're not working as a team. Okay, they're not a team, but 2 cars are faster. You would reckon they would have, mate, let's go. Let's follow. Let's see what we can do. And there's plenty of passings at Bathurst on the last lap, mate. I know of probably 27 places you can pass on the last lap.
Yeah, look, and like you said, even with the amount of slipstreaming potential there, it's even increased even further still. So we'll find out sort of how they're going. But a lap to go, a lap and a half to go at this stage. Tell you what, it's all on the line, and there could be some lap drivers that end up coming in a part of this as well. They've got to make sure that they're keeping things nice and sort of clear. But Bradley's got the headlights on. It's actually starting to get a little bit darker there. It looks like the race itself might have sort of run a little bit later, and the darkness is actually starting to sort of come across the mountain. So either the weather's turned or the daylight's sort of starting to disappear there. But again, nothing in it. We're counting down. It'll be the last time they sort of potentially run over the hill here, and I don't know if they'll get the checkered flag when they get to the bottom of the hill, but we'll find out.
Yeah, we certainly will, mate. Yes, it's getting late in the afternoon because you can see the shadows of that. I've never seen a set of HQ lights light up the track that well ever before. I tell you what, must be LEDs in them because, mate, they are literally daylight in front of those cars when you've got the headlights. Have a look at that, mate. She's lit up the Super Cheap Auto sign. Absolutely unbelievable. And here they go. They're going down the hill. Come on, guys, work together. Work together. Let's see what you can do. Because, mate, the last laps, they've just fought and the gap hasn't closed. But like you said, and I reckon, with my earphones on and all the rest, I reckon Howlett is coasting up over and down the top of the mountain. So you could be right. You could be definitely right that he's got a fuel issue, saving fuel or doing something. But here they go, mate. Here they go down Conroy. She's at least 5:30, quarter to 6 by the looks of it. Up over the Fuso trucks, Jim Beam sign there. Down into Caltex Chase for the final time. Oh, there's Howlett. There's Howlett. They can see him. They can smell him. But look at that gap. Look at that gap through Caltex Chase, mate. He has still got a fairly decent lead.
It does look like they're coming to the last lap at this stage, and at this point in time they're catching him, but they're just fighting and fighting and fighting. It is the final lap, but officially this time we're crossing the start-finish line, which means that they've got just this final lap to go. They have closed down. They have come maybe within about 1.5 seconds to 2 seconds at this stage, but they're pushing all the way through, and the two guys in second and third place slowing each other down there, and whoever ends up out of the top of these two in front of the other one.
Contact.
Yeah.
Contact, mate. Sorry. Contact. Turn one, contact. Come on, guys. You didn't need to do that. That's certainly given Howard, as you can see there, probably another 1.5 2 second gap. Up the hill they go for the final time, underneath the Petters Bridge, up over the hump. This is going to be very, very interesting. They're side by side. Yes, it's open slather now, guys. It's the last lap. You know, you got nothing to lose. Put it all out there on the table. See what you got. As they come up over... Oh, what's he done?
Oh, no.
He's had a lose, mate. He's going backwards. He's going up the hill the wrong way. It's certainly a slow. Oh, Watkins. All right, what can Watkins do? It's up to Watkins now. Geez, those guys, they really wanted talking to. They will be by the stewards, I'm sure of it, because they have let Howard get away from him again. Have a listen to Howard's car, mate. Is that sounding nice or not?
Oh, it sounds a bit flat.
Is that flat out?
Sounds a bit flat. I wouldn't say flat out, but flat at some sort of point in time. So he's going to run over the top of the hill here. And at this stage, we've got Michael Howlett leading Paul Watkins there, and Bradley sort of dropped off into third place. Simon Thomas, I think, fourth the last time we sort of checked. Chris Ainscoe there in fifth. Jason Mole, Kenny Wright, CR International and Command Digital sort of signage with those two cars. Andrew Toth, I think, was in the top 10 as well there. Brett Osborne and Matty Reid. But it's all about the front. We've got 3-4 car lengths, not even a second. It'd be between first and second here at the moment. I can tell you that Walker Senior would be pushing everything out of that thing, and he's trying to follow the run down the straight here, and we'll see if Howlett's got enough to even make it to the line here at this point.
Yeah, he certainly is, mate. He's coming like gangbusters. He's in the draft. You can see him coming down Conrod in the draft. That's got to help him. That's got to pull him along a little bit closer. Have a look at that. Probably a couple of car links in it now. Oh, for the final time, the sharp right-hander. Well, it is sharp at 220 k's, mate. You know, HQ Holden, forward or 6 on the hole. Have a look at Walker Senior. Less than a car length. less than a car length. We've got around about 450 metres to go. There's the pit lane off to your left there. You can see there. Howard in the middle. Watkins trying to go around the outside. Watkins trying to go around the outside there. Howard. Oh, this has got to be tight. This has got to be interesting. This is going to be a sensational finish. Oh, my God. Ian, who won?
I'm actually looking at Michael Howlett getting that by 42 thousandths of a second. What we're looking at on an overall sort of side of things is Michael Howlett ended up sort of winning there over Paul Watkins. Brad Lee, Simon Thomas was in the first four there, and then Chris Ainscoe's coming fifth place there. But the gaps between the first two are absolutely incredible, and then the rest of the field sort of rolls on from there. How did you feel that sort of went there for the rest of the top 10, mate?
Mate, that is unbelievable. Like you said, Chris Anderson 12, he started fifth, he finished fifth, he done all right. Command Digital, Jason Mole in the sixth, Kenny Wright, CNR International in the seventh, Andrew Toff was eighth. So the Tasmania done extremely well. Brett Osborne into ninth, Matthew Reid into 10th. So, and he was up a few positions also. So that's our top 10. Some of the times these HQ holes were punching out on the last lap was unbelievable, and how close all the racing was.
Oh, absolutely incredible. Look, we might even flick over to the two series results there as well for the CR International Endurance Series, as well as mentioning the overall championship. So we'll flick to that now and we'll have a quick look.
Congratulations to Michael Howard. He was the best guy out there, extremely confident and consistent. Michael Howard in first. Jason Mole, a rich snorer, up into second. Brett Osborne, well done, Brett, in third outright. Simon Thomas in fourth. Joel Heinrich in fifth.
Absolutely. Look, Simon Thomas has been a consistent sort of runner there, and again, I've got to say a big shout out to Michael Howlett as to how he's done the overall, and Brett Osborne again just come along leaps and bounds. So fantastic one for those guys. But Kenny Wright came through in sixth place there. Chris Ainscoe's coming in seventh place. Matty Reid's coming in eighth place. Mark Watkins had an issue in one of the other endurance rounds. So although he's done well today, he's had an issue in one of the other rounds in these endurance series that's dropped him back. Bradley has done a fantastic job, and again, he's come through in 10th there. So fantastic results for that, which rolls us into the overall champion. So the inaugural HQXtra ESeries presented by Command Digital Signage champion is Michael Howlett. Congratulations, mate. You've done fantastically well. Joel Heinrich, the champion that he is, has come through in second place there. Jason Mole, fantastic run, brilliant effort all round. Kenny Wright, CR International there, bringing home just behind. Not many points between any of the guys, actually. He's actually even points there with Simon Thomas there in fifth place, which is fantastic. So yeah, run it with the rest of it there, Dave.
I certainly will, mate. So Brendan Madden in sixth done an absolutely fantastic job because he didn't race at Bathurst. Remember, he's got a sore foot or a finger or something like that. Harden up, mate. Get yourself ready. Chris Mole in seventh, Matthew Reid in eighth, Scott Andreski, he also never raced at Bathurst either. So to come ninth is unbelievable. Brett Osborne rounding out the top 10. Well done, Brett. Leighton Cranbrook, Wayne Healy, the superstar, Mr. Hollywood, rounding out top 12. Chris Anscoff in 13th. Ricardo in 14th. David Camilleri, now he's been out for a few race meetings, still in the top 15. Ian, extremely well, and you can continue on. Thanks, mate.
We've got Rob McDougall, Dave Smith, Nick Jackson, Andrew Toth, Mark Watkins. All these guys have sort of missed various events for other reasons, but it's great to sort of see the field there, and it continues on and on. We ended up with about 50 overall competitors registered between the events. We've just had such great support, and between the sponsors that we've had involved in the series, it's been absolutely brilliant. The people that have put the effort and the time into it, Jason Mole from Command Digital Signage, CR International, so we've had Trevor Penny sort of help us out and obviously make this sort of work. Michael Howlett, not only has he won the championship, he's made the whole thing sort of work as well. So he's done all the footy side of things. I do have to say big thank you to yourself there, Dave. You've done a great effort and a lot of time that's sort of gone into this commentary and a lot of effort. So appreciate all of your help too, mate.
Mate, what you got to realise with HQ Holdens, I'll do absolutely anything to help us and to help individuals and keep people on the racetrack or to give them knowledge and things like that. So I'll do this again. I've had some fun, excitement, and I can't wait to shake everyone's hand in the future. Thank you very much for your time and effort, guys. From HQ Dart Racing, thank you all very, very much. Thanks, Ian.
No worries. Look, and thank you again to everyone. Thank you to all the HQ drivers that participated, and we'll look forward to the next instalment, whatever that may be. We'll keep everyone posted. But yeah, again, HQXtra, that's what we're all about. We're here to support the category, and we hope we've done a good job with that. So enjoy the rest of your time. We'll catch up with you soon.